What if I told you that two countries, born from the same land less than a century ago, are now worlds apart economically? India and Pakistan. Once part of the same empire. Now they're following very different financial paths, with massive consequences for their people, their futures, and the entire South Asian region. In this video, we're diving into a side-by-side breakdown of India and Pakistan's economies in 2025. Who's leading, who's lagging, and why it matters to you, whether you're an investor, a student, or just curious about the future of global power. Stick with me until the end, because the difference is bigger and more surprising than most people think. GDP and overall economic size. Let's begin with the most fundamental metric in any economic comparison, gross domestic product, or GDP. This figure measures the total value of goods and services produced within a country over a year, and it offers a clear snapshot of a nation's economic power. As of 2025, India's nominal GDP is estimated to be around 4.1 trillion US dollars, making it the fifth largest economy in the world, just behind Germany and ahead of the United Kingdom. This is the result of sustained growth in key sectors like information technology, telecommunications, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, and a vast service industry. Over the past 2 decades, India has gradually shifted from an agriculture-based economy to one increasingly driven by innovation, urbanization, and global trade. In contrast, Pakistan's GDP is approximately 375 billion US dollars, placing it around 44th globally. While that makes it one of the larger economies in the Islamic world, its economic scale is far more limited. A slower rate of industrialization, weaker investor confidence, and recurring fiscal imbalances have all held back growth. Now, if we adjust for population size and look at GDP per capita, which gives us an average income per person, the gap widens further. India's GDP per capita is around $2,800, while Pakistan's is roughly $1,600. This suggests that the average Indian citizen earns nearly double what the average Pakistani earns, highlighting a real difference in living standards, economic opportunity, and household spending power. Economic structure and growth. India's economic strength lies in its diversified structure. Over the past 2 decades, it has transformed into a services-driven economy, with key contributions from information technology, telecommunications, finance, pharmaceuticals, and infrastructure. The services sector alone accounts for over 50% of India's GDP, making it a global leader in IT outsourcing and software development. India's vibrant startup ecosystem, now home to over 100 unicorns, attracts billions in venture capital and foreign direct investment. Additionally, the country's push toward industrialization through initiatives like Make in India is gradually expanding its manufacturing base. Pakistan's economy, in contrast, is still heavily dependent on agriculture, which employs a large portion of the population but contributes less value to the economy. Textiles remain Pakistan's largest export sector, but limited diversification, outdated industrial practices, and energy shortages have hindered broader growth. While projects like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, have improved infrastructure, the long-term economic benefits have been mixed, often accompanied by debt concerns. When it comes to growth rates, India has maintained an impressive average of 6% to 7% annually, despite global slowdowns. Pakistan's growth has been more volatile, often disrupted by political instability, macroeconomic imbalances, and external debt burdens, making consistent development a persistent challenge. Inflation, debt, and currency stability. One of the clearest indicators of economic health is how a country manages inflation, public debt, and currency stability. These 3 factors directly affect the daily lives of citizens through prices, wages, and the cost of borrowing. India has managed to maintain moderate inflation, typically ranging between 4% and 6%, thanks in large part to the policies of the Reserve Bank of India, RBI. While inflation occasionally spikes due to food prices or global oil shocks, the RBI has generally kept it within its target range through interest rate adjustments and fiscal coordination. This relative price stability builds investor confidence and protects the purchasing power of ordinary Indians. Pakistan, on the other hand, has struggled with persistent double-digit inflation. In recent years, inflation has frequently exceeded 20%, with food and energy prices hitting especially hard. The Pakistani rupee has undergone multiple sharp devaluations, leading to higher import costs and further fueling inflation. These pressures erode consumer spending and make it harder for businesses to plan or grow. Foreign reserves tell a similar story. India currently holds over $600 billion in foreign exchange reserves, providing a strong buffer against external shocks and currency volatility. These reserves allow India to support its currency, pay for imports, and maintain global investor confidence. Pakistan's reserves have dropped to critically low levels, at times covering less than 2 months of imports. This has forced repeated appeals for emergency loans from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, China, and Gulf nations. While these inflows offer temporary relief, they come with tough conditions and raise long-term debt obligations. In short, India's macroeconomic management appears significantly more stable and forward-looking, while Pakistan remains vulnerable to inflation shocks, debt stress, and external financial dependency. Population and future potential. Population can be either a powerful engine for economic growth or a ticking time bomb, depending on how well it's managed. Both India and Pakistan have large, youthful populations, which, if harnessed effectively, can become a driving force for development and prosperity. India is now the most populous country in the world, with over 1.43 billion people and a median age of just 28 years. This demographic dividend offers a massive workforce that, if equipped with education, skills, and opportunities, can sustain economic growth for decades. India is already seeing this in its booming tech and services sectors, which are heavily populated by young, educated professionals. Government schemes like Skill India, Digital India, and investments in infrastructure are helping to channel this energy into productivity. Pakistan, with a population of around 240 million, also has a young demographic profile. Over 60% of its citizens are under the age of 30. This presents an incredible opportunity, but also a serious challenge. Without sufficient job creation, educational reform, and economic stability, Pakistan risks falling into what economists call a demographic trap, where too many young people face unemployment, poverty, and social unrest. While both countries have similar demographic structures, India is better positioned to turn its young population into an asset. With stronger institutions, higher levels of foreign investment, and a more diversified economy, India is making more progress in converting population growth into long-term economic momentum. The race is on, but the paths are diverging: defense, diplomacy, and global standing. Economic strength often translates into geopolitical influence, and in this regard, India has significantly expanded its global footprint. It is no longer just a regional power, but is increasingly seen as a key player on the world stage. India is an active member of several major international alliances and forums, including the G20, BRICS, and the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, Quad, alongside the United States, Japan, and Australia. These memberships allow India to influence decisions on global trade, security, and climate policy. India has also built deep strategic and economic ties with major powers such as the United States, France, Russia, Japan, and several Southeast Asian and African nations. Its Act East and Neighborhood First policies reflect a proactive diplomatic approach, aiming to enhance regional stability and open new trade corridors. Additionally, India is investing heavily in defense modernization, with a focus on indigenous production and technology development. Pakistan, meanwhile, continues to play a vital role in regional geopolitics, particularly in matters involving Afghanistan, the Middle East, and counterterrorism. However, its foreign relations are largely bilateral, with the most significant partnerships being with China, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. While these alliances provide military and financial support, they also come with dependencies that limit Pakistan's diplomatic flexibility. Moreover, Pakistan's defense spending consumes a large portion of its national budget, often exceeding 3% of GDP. This diverts resources from essential sectors like health, education, and infrastructure, hindering long-term development. India, while also maintaining a large defense budget, has a broader economic base to support it. In essence, India's rising influence on the global stage through alliances, diplomacy, and economic power enables it to shape international norms and pursue its interests more effectively than Pakistan currently can. So where does that leave us? India's economy is bigger, more stable, and globally integrated. It has challenges, inequality, unemployment, and environmental concerns, but its momentum is clear. Pakistan, while rich in human capital and natural resources, faces serious economic headwinds. Political instability, inflation, and reliance on foreign aid remain major obstacles. But here's the truth: both countries still have untapped potential, and their success or failure will shape not just their futures, but the entire region's role in the 21st century global economy. If you found this comparison insightful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into global economics and finance, and tell me in the comments, what do you think Pakistan needs to turn its economy around? And can India truly become a global economic superpower? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.